Okay, let's get the word out. I am shocked I'm able to do this, but woo. Okay. Wait, help if I could do that. Oh yeah. All right, got the word out. Thank you for tuning in. Welcome to the Bonnet Chronicles. I'm your hostess, Kalari GXC. I am sorry about the lateness. My son was goofing off instead of doing his schoolwork, so I didn't even know if I was going to be able to do this today or not. But I want to thank everybody who has been tuning in, who has been supporting these casts. And I want to open by saying that my prayers and thoughts are with the people in the path of Ian right now, those in Florida, Georgia, and in the southern eastern states that are directly going to be hit by this. I hope that you are somewhere safe. I hope that the damage to your place and to your property isn't great, but I know as somebody who's lived in Florida what these storms can do. So I'm just praying that we have safe measures for people and that there are few lives lost to this major storm. And please stay safe. If you can hear this and you're in the storm, I really hope that you're hunkered down in a safe place. It is hard because I also seen the videos of those people who were swimming in the storm surge, and it's like, this is not the time to go viral. This is not the time to play around. Hurricanes are no joke. Gale winds at 155 miles per hour. This is not the time to play around. Tides are dangerous on regular days sometimes. A high tide can literally just quickly grab you out to sea and drown you. So to play in the storm surge tide, don't do that. Don't be that person. No amount of clicks and views, no amount of hearts by your name is worth dying for. Please don't be that Darren Award winner this year. Stay out of storm surges. They showed, I'm showing maps right now of it. Just the range of this storm is bigger than the whole entire state. So I really want you all to do what you can to be safe. A lot of you have said my timeline has been full of people sharing tips and strategies, everything from safety to stocking up. So I know that I have smart followers who are been doing stuff they can to hunker down, but storms are so unpredictable. So please don't be out there doing that whole swimming thing. And yes, I seen the video of the shark. I mean, what can you say? The ocean is literally being dumped on the land, so I'm not shocked that there was a shark swimming up there. But, it is what it is. Just do your part to stay safe, you know? And that is not the only thing that has been going on. I know for some people, YouTube stuff isn't important. But I, like so many other people on lockdown, had to find ways of entertainment that, you know, kept me from going to stir crazy. And YouTube was it. I would watch people like Jenna Marbles, people like the Try Guys, because I like the unproblematic side of Twitter. I know some people like their Nikocado, avocado, whatever big woman, normally white woman, that eats and cries, but for me, I prefer the non problematic side of Twitter. So, color me shocked when I seen this message from them, because if anybody knows anything about the Try Guys, they know that this douche nozzle, and I'm calling him for what he is, came across as the good Try Guy, came across as the my wife, my family type of guy. He even put out the most inane tweet in defense of himself and his consensual relationship. And what bothers me about this is, like everybody else, a lot of us turned to streaming and YouTube and other content for entertainment during the lockdown. So for the last 2 years, I'd say, I've ingested Try Guys content from their days in BuzzFeed to them deciding, nah, we don't need you, BuzzFeed. We're gonna get our own following on Twitter. They're normally funny, down to earth guys. And while my vibes about Ned always say he kind of tried a bit too hard to be like Ned Flanders, I thought I was just being cynical. Come to find out, no, Ned is nasty. And the only person I feel bad for in this situation right now is his wife, who he made date night books for, who he's starring and stuff with. She's asking for privacy, so hopefully people will give that to her. But the fact that he put out a tweet saying that he should have put his family first, yeah, you should have. That he shouldn't have cheated with some, no, he had a consensual relationship, basically. And it doesn't matter. You're a married man. No amount of it was consensual is going to stop the fact that you literally marketed yourself as a happily married man, how you love your spouse, how you love being a dad, and then you cheated with a subordinate. Lives are ruined from this. And while I know that the remaining Try Guys are each talented and will press on, it's just sad that he would ruin his bag this badly for what? Your libido? Are you fucking shitting me right now? Your wife just had another baby. This is why I said you can't always trust people. I've always been of the mindset that you have to have a balance. I've been online for years now. I've done podcasts, I've done shows, I've bounced around wherever I felt I fit, and sometimes it didn't work out. My thing is, my home life is that. Cameras don't stay on for what goes on in my house 24/7 because I need that balance. My child needs that balance. My partner needs that balance. Well, yes, I have tried to get Greg a little bit more socially active online because of our book and everything else. I respect the fact that he's not that interested and I don't press it. There has to be a balance though. When you put that much of your life online, when you're constantly trying to showcase that happy family or showcase that happy life, it's real easy for it to fall apart. And as I tweeted out earlier, the bigger you are on this app, whether it's YouTube or Twitter and whatnot, the more people actually actively rooting for you to fail. So you have to carry yourself even higher than that. Because they look for scandals. They live and breathe your potential fail and how far from grace you fall. So when you market yourself as that good guy and then you end up being anything but, it's even worse for you. And like I said, I don't feel sorry for Ned at all. Because he's a white man, he'll fail up, sadly. I feel bad for his family. I feel bad for his kids. This is fucking embarrassing. And I really hope that he gets his shit together because even calling it a consensual relationship means he's not taking accountability for the fact that he had an affair. That's what it was. I don't give a fuck if you think it was consensual. I don't give a fuck if she chased you. You're the one that made a commitment to somebody. You're the one that was married. You're the one that marketed yourself as a married man. And instead of honoring that commitment, instead of being that guy that you tried to portray to all of us who watched you, you failed. And I really hope that you get it together because Ariel deserves better. And I'm sad in what you did to your Try Guy brothers because this is an embarrassment and this is bad on the whole fucking brand. While I know they will maneuver and get past this because, like I said, they're talented guys. I've watched them for years now. I do believe that they'll keep going on. Eugene's amazing. Keith's amazing. Zach's amazing. What bothers me is that from now on, they will forever be linked to this Dilwad's nonsense, and it doesn't make sense because you were supposed to be the good one. And in the realm of so many problematic people on YouTube, it just bothers me when the unproblematic get plagued by a problematic person. And that's all I'm going to say about this supposed YouTube drama. I know I see my Twitter timeline. I don't care about YouTube famous people. Well, it must be nice. I, as a shut-in, get my entertainment where I could. Don't really care for Hollywood stuff. And actually feel like streaming content, especially on YouTube and stuff, is far more entertainment to me, far more personal at times. I enjoy the rich pool of talent that I find on Twitch and YouTube. So it always hurts when somebody I've enjoyed their content end up being a piece of shit. Or it hurts when somebody I enjoyed their content decide they can't do it anymore because of stress, because of a mistake they've made in their past. So yeah, it does phase me a bit when shit like this happens because this is the content that I enjoy. This is the stuff that I watch. I don't get mad when you go on about Real Housewives and what else, other stuff that I don't watch. I don't know fuck all about 90 Day Fiance, yet I hear about that all the time up and down my timeline. Yet people want to mock those of us who enjoy YouTube personalities? Nah, I'm not down for that. I think YouTube has an amazing wealth of content and content creators. A lot of them make really good bank off of it too. So you can look down your nose all you want, but the Try Guys actually make good money doing what they do. That's another reason why I think what Ned did was fucking dumb. How do you fucking ruin an easy bag by being a cheater? I don't understand it. But I don't want to keep ranting about YouTube stuff. I will say, hopefully, he and Ariel work things out because it seems like that's what she wants to do. And as long as she wants to do that, that's all that matters. But I still think your man's a bum who fucking can't be trusted being out, which is going to make it harder. As somebody who had to deal with being cheated on, it's always going to be there with you. And that's the bad thing about betrayal. That is why I try to explain to people that being in a couple is a partnership. And if you don't think that you can be faithful, if you don't think that you can be emotionally there for your partner, don't partner up. Yeah, people, I don't want to be considered a hound dog. I should settle down and look the part. But if that's not where your heart and mind is, what's the point? You only end up messing up lives if you are not fully ready to commit to a relationship. It really is that simple. Don't do this to people. I've seen so many homes ruined by dudes that think, well, I gotta be a mature adult even though I'm not feeling this and I really don't want to do this. And it's like, then don't do it. You get married and then you freaking literally ruin your whole family's life. I don't get it. But speaking of ruining people's lives, I'm sure some of you have seen this shit. Let me get Ned's face off of here. I don't normally call out other people's parenting. I am normally team mind my business because as a Gen Xer, having parental people and figures that thought, I gotta toughen you up, this'll character build, was so normalized for us that it gives me PTSD. And I actually start to shake when I hear that term. That strength building bullshit that they try to say. No, you screamed at a child. No, you made a child hold a gun. No, you did things to a child that you shouldn't do, and it fucks us up as adults. When I see stuff like this in the day of digital, where everybody does this shit for clout and views, it enrages me. Your child is not there for you to exploit. It is pouring down rain. You've got him on a fucking parallel. He is clearly in distress. And instead of being a mom at this moment, you're laughing, kikiing up, and then you posted it like it's fucking normal. This is not okay. This is why so many of these fuckers, when they become teenagers, get a gun and decide, I am going to end as many lives as possible. It's shit like this. When they are so young, this is his formative years, and the person who's supposed to be nurturing, caring for him is doing shit like this. There's a problem with the other side. There's a problem that people don't want to face and address with the right wing that is scary to me. And with a month away, the midterms that could really either help stop their nonsense that they thought they were going to do with the SCOTUS, or put us even further into danger zone when it comes to women's rights, when it comes to the rights of the LGBTQ. It is dangerous times to ignore shit like this because the cruelty is the point of their side. They don't care to not even be cruel to their own kids. And yet you want these fuckers running things? And It's on brand for the Trumps. This shit is normalized to them. Her fucking shit weasel looking husband probably thought this shit was cute too. Photos of her sitting there drinking a bunch of wine because she can't handle her cushy life of being a fucking baby mama. They just legit do not understand how these people continue on. But the cruelty is the point. It's why Brett Favre is being downplayed when he literally worth $100 million but can steal $5 million in funding from poor people. And I'm not going to let people forget this because it's on point for their side. And people are like, oh, Tin, you know, that us versus them is divisive. I don't care. I don't care at this point. Call me divisive. I am divisive against people who are abusive. I am divisive against people who are assholes. And I am divisive against people who are trying to drag us back into fascism. I was reading an article today about how people in Idaho are literally worried about being fired for even mentioning abortion now. These states had archaic laws from early 19th century on the ready to roll our states back to. Our governor here in Michigan is fighting against that bullshit. And we need more senators. We need more House reps who will help change these laws to protect our rights to choose. And I think people need to understand this about me. Just because I believe in the right of choice doesn't mean I'm for personal abortion. I think people need to understand the gray areas of this topic. I have been very fortunate as a survivor of sexual assault to never have had to get an abortion. But I do know that if a child had been created from my rape at 14, I would not have been able to carry that child to term. That sits with me. That I was fortunate enough to have not been pregnant from that horrible act that I lived with for all of my life, it feels like. 14 happened to me over 30 years ago, and I can feel it like it happened yesterday, and it makes me sick to my stomach. And living with that and knowing that I still did everything I could after to stay safe, to have responsible relations if I did have relations with anybody, to make sure that I never put myself in a situation where I would have to make that choice. But I am honest that if that had happened to me because of my age, because of the fact that it was an unwanted sexual act, there is no fucking way I would carry my rapist baby. No fucking way any woman should be forced to that. But the right to choose also stems to birth control, which Idaho apparently wants to ban now. They are literally trying to make women broodmares. And we are the front against this. But I can feel the fatigue setting in. I need to be honest. I think a lot of us need to be honest about how exhausting it is. My friends who phone and text bank, I've seen the messages. The N-word being thrown at Val Demings, just horrible things to any of us who reach out to people to remind them to vote. The other side are nasty. The other side are gross. We knew that when they voted for a literal pussy grabber. We cannot let them erode our spirit. For all of their brazen bullying, the only thing they got going for them is maybe they won't go to jail if they cut a deal. Because a lot of them are going down for January 6th. Homeboy just got 68 fucking months in the federal jail after he cussed at Officer Fannin. Hope you have all that mouth while you're in the pokey, boy. It's just a mess, though. And I realize that as a pragmatist, everything I do to help my people helps them too. But that is just what you have to accept with pragmatism. I am not in the policy of pushing for something that doesn't help every American. I don't give a fuck if they like me. I don't have to like somebody to want them to have a better life. But what I can't do is let them run us into the ground, let them strip my humanity, let them base things off of shit that they don't even understand about the human body, about basic biology, about ectopic pregnancies. We have watched how archaic and ass backwards the right are about our lives, and we can no longer let them lead the charge. They're already imploding. People fighting with Mitch McConnell. People swearing loyalty to Trump, throwing fucking Nazi salutes and flying actual flags with swastikas. It is a mess. But these are the legitimate death throes of a regime that should have never been in the first place. But years of trickle down and No Child Left Behind created this mutated mass of self entitled ignorance that we have to move past. And sadly, they are going to benefit from all the stuff that we push for, but that is just the sacrifice that we have to make. And I would rather sacrifice them living a cushy life and hating me from whatever rock they wish to live under than allowing them to reign over our country and turn us into a cratered cesspit that sees more death than actual life. Because these pro-lifers don't realize how much death they would be condemning women, trans men, and so many others to under their authoritarian rule. And we cannot afford to ever let them hold power. And I know that it's just exhausting. When I think of a word to think about how I feel with a month left, with all the chaos agents, with the black psyops, as I've noticed, a lot of questionable black profiles all of a sudden coming out as anti-Dem, all this pro-Bernie 2024. The man is already close to dust. Why the fuck are you even speculating about 2024 still? I said it earlier in this year and I mean it. I don't trust anybody who aren't talking about the midterms. But I especially don't trust anybody talking about 2024 and talking about how normie Dems want Bernie. No, we didn't. How many times does he have to lose a primary? How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man? That's all I need to know. Because he lost 4 million votes the first primary. I think it was close to that again the last time. We do not want Bernie Sanders. Pragmatic Democrats who actually want to vote for Democrats, who actually want to work with people, who want a coalition build and work with every American, who want to see everybody benefit because that's the only way we all rise up. We can't afford a fool who's independent but uses our platform, who doesn't give a fuck about anything but the white working class, because apparently the rest of us who work in America don't matter to fucking Bernie Sanders. So I say this from the bottom of my heart. Fuck that old man. He will never get a vote out of me. Moving on, because I'm fucking sick of... I don't even want to deal with the far left anymore. They don't vote. They don't turn out in ways that make any sense. I am sick and tired of their antics. They say K-Hive all the time to get reaction out of us. We have to start paying these fuckers dust. It's a play for them at this point. They put K-Hive out there on Twitter expecting people to attack them, respond to them, because it's the only engagement they get. The K-Hive ain't paying you no mind. We are too busy trying to focus on the fucking midterms. We are too busy watching the VP go across and make waves overseas and really set some foreign policy abroad. But you want to fucking, rattle us with a tweet? By saying things like normie dev? You're whack. Nobody's paying attention. Nobody's coming to see you, Otis. It's just tiring getting upset about these fucking cosplay socialists now. So I'm not. Because like I said, we've got a month. And it needs to be all hands on deck. And there's no such thing as a safe blue state. So you need to vote like your rights are on the line. Because if you're anybody with a uterus, no matter how you identify, that is able to carry a child, your rights are in danger. If you don't have a uterus, but have a certain medication that they feel has abortive tendencies, whether it's life-saving or not, your life is in danger. We cannot risk playing around with this. I know some people don't want you to think about it. They don't want you to care because they want us to free fall into fascism. Because they think they'll be all right while everybody else gets tread upon. They'll jackboot right over our corpses if they could. And we cannot afford this. And if you don't believe me, look at Italy. And the thing about Italy that people want to stress is, oh, we never had a fascist since Benito Mussolini. And welcome to the chat, Beans. And I want them to look past that. Because historical wise, it doesn't shock me when Europe elects fascists. What bothers me is she got in because of their fucking voting system. Apathy, too many people running, always fucks over democracies. And so many assholes want to try to do that here. So many chaos agents would love shit like that to happen here in America. And this is why we have to be vigilant and on guard. Because Italy could happen here. If enough people started being apathetic, if enough people tried to stir the pot with I'm not even going to say forward party, because those clowns are not going to get anywhere. Nope. I can't even humor Andrew Yang at this point, because no, nobody cares. We're not even going to remember you. But if we keep playing around with this, oh, the two-party system's broken, we need a new thing, let's burn it down bullshit, we could end up like Italy. And the problem with Italy is everybody's focusing on the wrong things. They're not focusing on how exploitable the current voting system is. They're not focusing on how many people just say, I don't like anybody, so I'm just going to stay home. And that's a problem we have here in America right now. That is my main fear with the midterms. It's not people just voting for the opposition, which is coming for women's rights. It is the fact that so many people justify not doing this civic duty in the first fucking place. Yous are the worst. I can handle the right, because at least they do their civic duty. At least they take that much seriously. And I can handle 13% of the far left, because at least they do that. The rest of y'all can go fuck yourselves. But what I can't stand is the Dems by fucking name only. You put resistance in your name, you put a blue wave, but if we held up your voting report card, it would be shitty. And that's because a lot of you have never had to vote like your life depended on it. You've never been disabled, you've never been black, you've never been POC, and you've never had to fight for your rights for any reason. Or worse yet, you come from a group where you know what you've been through, you've been marginalized enough, but it's still not enough for you to get off your ass. What's it going to take for them to take marriage equality rights back? What's it going to take? Another Florida that says don't say gay? What is it going to take for you to get off your behind and vote like it matters? And in some states, you don't even have to do that much. In some states, you can literally fill out an absentee ballot. If you are disabled right now, and your state has those measures to be on the permanent absentee ballot list, and you're not, that is on you. I don't want to hear any more complaining, because we are always at the bottom when it comes to any decisions. But you know how we rise up? You know how we get a voice? You know how we get legislation that recognizes our humanity so that we don't feel disposable? We vote in the people who want to do that. And there are plenty of amazing legislators, looking at Senator Duckworth, looking at so many people who have taken their disability and made a voice in Congress for us. But we need to give them more colleagues that see us as human beings. And the only way we're going to do that is by casting a ballot. But sadly, there are way too many people that make those who want to be apathetic, make those who don't want to politically invest themselves feel seen and heard. And sadly, those clout goblins are doing damage, and they don't even care. But I care. I care that the fatigue is getting heavy. I care that so many of my friends have shown such sad, depressive attitudes online, and I want you to take time away. If Twitter becomes too much, if online becomes too much, decompress. I just don't want to see good people broken this close to the midterms. And I know it's not easy. Like I said, you got ADOS, you got that FB people. I just found out about their asses today. They were attacking my friend Shantae about reparations of all things. So she showed the people that have been pushing for years, like Senator Brown, for reparations. Crickets. Oh, you're tethered. I'm not going to speak to a tethered throat. They don't want to have an honest conversation. So stop giving these people attention. Pay them dust. They're always going to circle jerk themselves. Dusty, ashy motherfuckers. I am not going to waste any more time and energy arguing with these fuckers. Anytime I see them tweet something ignorant about the government or about what people are doing with their vote, I know they're a lost brother and sister, and I'm not like Harriet. I'm not trying to guide people with that mentality out of their nonsense. I'm trying to make a better world despite them, and my black ass is gonna vote. That's all I care about. I care about my vote and those who also vote. I don't give a fuck about them non-voting contrarian assholes who think doing nothing is the same as doing something. No. We have to stop elevating them because they utilize our outrage as well. They know how to farm outrage, and we have got to start paying them dust, because I need you to understand this. If they get no engagement out of us, they don't get paid. They are shown that they cannot rile us up. And I know it's hard for some to understand because we don't think on that level. I've never thought I need to tweet something controversial to show that I can get attention that way. I don't make money that way, so I can't make that correlation. But apparently it is lucrative to throw shit like that out and see what sticks. And we have got to make it harder for them to make that kind of engagement. It really is as simple as seeing a tweet, not responding, or responding only to what they said without highlighting, without giving them any attention, because we have to start hurting these psyops where they rest. And I really, Beans, I would love that. I would love a Senate majority so strong that they just implode. The other side are already fighting each other, blaming McConnell for not backing people strong enough. McConnell's like, "Yous are all Trump wackadoos. Why should I back you?" 140 million freaking dollars disappeared from the RNC. They are hemorrhaging funds and really don't have structure outside who can we both take rights from and dehumanize. And I'm sorry, but a lot of us are like, no, we really don't want this. We don't want to support people who think we're less than. We definitely don't want to support people who think we should die giving birth. We don't want people who want to force a 13-year-old to carry her rapist baby. So I really hope that this midterms is the swan song for McConnell. I don't understand why him, Lindsey Graham, and the others decided that they wanted to push heavier abortion laws. But to me, it really feels like they are trying to stick the knife in their own party at this point. Because they have to know women are not going to take this shit laying down. Some might. There are some women that are fully indoctrinated to believe that they have to do this shit. But the rest of us, and we vote. So I really wish him well. I don't understand this particular strategy, but I do thank him for the potential wins that we will have in November, because this strategy is not for the RNC. You cannot convince me that they think they have enough people alive still to motivate towards this. And you can't go by CNN coverage or any of the weird radicalization bullshit, because these people are loud, but they're not the masses. I went from my neighborhood literally visibly having pro-Trump stuff to that shit got taken down really quick after the J6 stuff. And now it's very few and far between. You have some weird holdouts that I ain't fuck with anyway. But for the most part, most really visible Trumpers are gone. Because when you find out that the man traded state secrets to whoever gave him money, it doesn't leave a good taste in your mouth if you're supposedly a flag-waving patriot. So, yeah, I feel like McConnell sees the writing on the wall. It's not the first time the Whigs had to reinvent themselves. That's why they're the GOP now, aka the Republicans. It's not going to be the last time. They are literally the chameleons of the political spectrum. But right now, they are in a free fall towards fascism, and we cannot afford to let them lead us anywhere. And like I said, with everything we've got dealing with, COVID, storms, wars outside our country, but affect things in our country. We need strong, effective leadership, and we need it on a state level. And I know some people don't understand basic civics. Some of you might have skipped. Some of you might have thought, this is boring. I'm never going to need this. Why do I got to take a civics class? It's because a lot of you don't realize that your local representatives affect things on a national level. If your state holds out on bills like the Build Back Better, if your state holds out on things like infrastructure, it fucks all of us over. This is why you need senators who won't run to Cancun when shit gets bad. You need governors who care when 20 babies and teachers get gunned down in a school, who won't make excuses for the fuckers who legally were able to do what they did. We need accountable, responsible leaders. And the only way we're going to get that is if we vote for them. And sadly, we have a coordinated effort to destabilize us. Why? Because fear sells clicks and views. Chaos actually gets us watching more news, clicking on more stuff. And sadly, being marketed to and marketable is a strategy. I want it to be a failing strategy because I'm sick and tired of watching our media act like it is okay to do that shit. It is not okay. It is not okay to make people feel like they need to be in the grips of a dictator. It is not okay to round up women and children and put them on cold, hard floors because they dared to seek asylum here. It is not okay to cause the deaths of allies, the deaths of friends of family from a preventable pandemic. And all of that happened under Trump. And I can only think of what would be worse if that idiot that's currently running Florida ever got to be president, which assholes are literally trying to float at this point. All I know is that I hate the amount of anxiety that I feel only a month away from the midterms, but it's not from the people who I know are just going to vote for their whiteness. I've already made my peace with those assholes. It is for the people who will look me up and down, put BLM in their bio, put blue wave emojis in their bio, and then don't fucking vote because they don't care. Or they think, I'll be safe anyway. Other people will do it. Can't somebody else do it? Y'all are a problem. I need you to turn out the way I turn out. I turn out because my life is always at risk. I've never had the luxury of not voting. I've been at my freaking wit's end trying to explain this to people that if we don't take this seriously, it'll be taken away from us. They want that. They want the ability to go, oh, only certain people will be allowed to vote. Only certain voices will be represented. And if that's the life you want, you better hope to God you're elite enough to make that. And I guarantee you're not. We have to be vigilant. They've been eroding our nerves. They've been eroding our democracy little by little for years now. And it is on shaky foundation. If we are going to fix and repair that foundation and make it stronger, we have to do our part. And it's such a bare minimum effort. It did not take me long at all to do my primary ballot earlier in August for the upcoming election. And it's not going to take me anything next month to do the main general election ballot. And actually getting the practice on the absentee primary helped me feel comfortable being able to use Ballotpedia and other sources to look up stuff I didn't know. I don't understand the people that act like voting is so hard for them. I stood in line for hours in the South, especially in Florida, just to make sure my vote was cast. So I don't understand the people who can't figure out easier ways for them to vote. You've never lived a life of hardship and it shows, but I don't want all of us to suffer just because you can't see it, just because the problem hasn't gotten to your doorstep yet. I want the problems to stop. And a lot of America's problems are self-inflicted due to self-entitlement. And we have to be the ones to finally say enough's enough. We have to be the ones to stand up, step up, and do the right thing. And I know we can. That's why I'm begging you this next month, take time away when you need to. Indulge in things that make you smile, make you happy. And then when November comes around, be ready to vote. Have your plan ready if you got to be on the front lines and cast a vote. Have your absentee ballot ready. Make sure it gets put in that drop box. Do not hand it to strangers. There's been a rash of weirdos going around trying to collect liberals' ballots. It is a mess. They're going to try to pull out any tricks and stops. Go with your gut and don't just trust anybody. But what I really want you to do is look for things to be content with. I know that doom and gloom sells. I know that pushing negative gets more engagement. I'm on Twitter every day. I see the tweets that get the most reaction out of it. But we have got to stop feeding into that. There is so much good on the horizon. There's so much to look forward to. And I want to see good things with you. I had a dream last night that I invited so many of my friends over for morning coffee. We just sat around the table, and it was a big ass table because I invited so many of my sister girls over, and we were just drinking tea and laughing at Twitter stuff. And I was like, this is the future that I want. This is going to be the future that I have. And it is all because I'm done just being negative. I'm done allowing the negative to be the only thing I hyper focus on. There's so much good to look forward to. I've seen so many historic firsts. I am doing my own thing. Box of these came today. I have so many of these to sign and send out, and I'm excited. To those of you who got this one, it is now a collectible. I am grateful to Roger for both of these covers. His artwork is amazing. But for those of you who got this one, it's a limited edition. We will not be putting out this one anymore that I know of. All of you who get a book now will be getting this cover, and I thank you. It is amazingly detailed. I am so excited to get this out to people. But I'm also excited for the potential future, because I feel like enough of us finally realize what pragmatism can bring us. We are starting to see how ridiculously ignorant and cruel the other side is, and we just don't want them running our country into the ground. So I feel like if we work together and continue and we build that coalition across state lines, we get governors who care, we get senators who want to do their damn job and beyond, and not just be on the cover of GQ fucking doing nothing. If we get people who want to make the effort, like Lauren Underwood, Val Demings, Beto, Stacey Abrams, there are so many rising stars in our party that I am excited for the midterms for once in my life. There are so many people that I'm literally rooting for. Looking at you, Cheryl Beasley. So many people who just want to do for their state and beyond, and we have to be the ones to turn out so that they can do their job. I am going to do my part to support Governor Whitmer. I am going to do my part to make sure that my senator stays a senator, that my local reps are representing my district the way they should. There's a whole bunch of different tax things I got to pay attention to. I know for some, oh, that's boring. Life is boring sometimes. That I would rather handle a few minutes of boring shit that'll help my community and beyond than to act like I'm too good for it. That's the problem with some of you. You act like you're too good to care about the thing that you've got to live in. But you're allowed as complainers about it. I'm going to do my part to be proactive. And I know I'm not alone. I know that you will do this with me. And that is what got me so hyped and so excited. So I thank you. Now I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. I know it wasn't a full hour. I'll make it up for you on Friday. Kiddo ran a bit of overtime. This is the joys of having a team that homeschools is we share the desk. And if he's goofing off, that means I'm pushed behind. I should have really just did the Bonnet Chronicles yesterday because he got done early, but I mentally and physically just couldn't. After getting off the bike, my body was hurting like no tomorrow. And I'm of the mindset that if you are not feeling it, whether it's mental or physical, it comes across when you stream. So I was not going to push myself to try to stream during the paint. I know some other streamers do it. I'm not that streamer. I'm an old lady. I'm not trying to do that crap. But I thank everybody that supports these Bonnet Chronicles. Thank you, Beans, for sitting in. I'm going to get ready to wrap this up, go make some dinner. I'll have this up on YouTube in a little bit, and I will see you all on Friday. Thank you, everybody who supported the book, everybody who's still buying the ebooks, everybody who's supporting the publisher phone. You guys are freaking amazing, and I love you. But I am going to wrap this up, go make some dinner, and see you all on Friday.